We've already discussed the sort of slim pickings of the defensemen that are available for free agency in less than a week. I wanted to discuss another issue. You deal with guys who in their contract year usually put up pretty good numbers. And that's kind of a red flag too. So we've got reports coming out starting yesterday of which players are talking to which teams and which cities they're in and all this stuff. And fans are getting excited. Now, at the top of the list, now I went by points. I went purely by points. Artemi Panarin, 28 goals, 59 assists, 87 points. He's 27 years of age. The previous 3 seasons, 82 points, 74 points, 77 points. In all likelihood, he probably scores less than the 87 next year. More than likely. And there are a couple of factors with that. One, it is the highest number on the board. And 2, new surroundings. Probably going to take him a while to get his legs under him. Duchene is, for me, the biggest red flag. And that's why I've got a Admiral Akbar It's a Trap magnet on the board for newer subscribers. I guess I should show you guys what this is. Because I considered certain teams during regular season matchups to be a trap, as in you might let your guard down. I consider certain players to be a trap right now because they put up points they don't normally. So Duchene this year, 31 goals, 39 assists, 70 points, and he's 28 years of age. Panarin's 27. That's part of what makes them attractive. They're still in their 20s, and they're still producing. But Duchene, the previous 3 seasons, had 59 points, 41 points, and 59 points. So again, those 70 points, fantastic season he had. His point totals dropped off after he went to Columbus. And overall, his numbers are normally more like 60 than they are 70. Now, if he's going to make $9.5 million based on this season, and it looks like that's about where it's going to end up, I really think somebody's overpaying for him. Pavelski, 38 goals, 26 assists, 64 points. He's 34 years of age. You'll notice there's no asterisk next to his name because he didn't put up the highest point total. In fact, he put up the lowest point total he's had in the last 4 years. He had 66 last season, 68 the year before, and 78 the year before that. So with Pavelski, you're probably getting a guy who drops to 60. There's a small diminishing returns issue with his points, although his goals, almost 40. Yeah, he's a 30-goal scorer in all likelihood as long as he can stay healthy. And I would still be very surprised if he doesn't stay with San Jose, but I've been surprised by free agents the last couple of years. Gustav Nyquist. You'll notice the asterisk next to Nyquist. Nyquist had a very good year as well, by his standard. 22 goals, 38 assists for 60 points. He's 29 years of age. Pavelski at 34. That's going to mean a lower term and probably lower cap hit. Nyquist, that could be driven up by him being 29. Absolutely. At least the length of the contract. The thing is, he had 60 points this year, but last year he had 40. The year before, 48. And the year before that, 43. So again, you're paying a guy after he's put up the best numbers he has in at least 4 years, and I only went back 3 years past this one, just to show these guys put up kind of career numbers, and this is why. We always have this discussion years later. Well, why did Lucic get his money? Why did Louis Eriksson get so much money? Because guys do this. They know their contract's up, and they end up putting up better numbers. This has been a thing going all the way back to the 90s, when contracts were nowhere near as lucrative as they are now. If I put you in a pair of skates and go, hey, you go out there and score a goal tonight, you might make an extra $1.5 million next year. It's incentive. Dzingel, 26 goals and 30 assists, 56 points. He's 27 years of age. But huge red flag with Dzingel for me, in that last year he had 41 points, the year before 32, the year before that he had 9 points in 30 games as a rookie. He's young, he's 27. I don't see a 25 goal scorer, though, with Dzingel. And I think that if Dzingel makes, I'm not going to name the cap hit, but we'll see what happens on July 1st. I think he could absolutely get overpaid. I could even see Columbus overpaying him just so they don't lose everybody. I could see that because we've seen that before. You look at Bobby Ryan's contract in Ottawa and how much money he got paid. He got paid that money because Ottawa had lost a bunch of guys, at that stage, and they wanted to show, hey, we're gonna pay our money and keep somebody here, and Bobby Ryan was the one they picked. Justin Williams, asterisk next to him, but I have to say, should be a double asterisk, because honestly, he had 53 points this year, 23 goals, 30 assists. He's 37 years of age, but that's not completely out of line with his normal totals. He had 51 yet last year, 48 the year before that, and 52 the year before that. So for Williams, 53 points, yeah, you might be able to get that out of him again. He has some consistency issues from this past season, but he still ended up with 53 points. So he had a slow start, and then he had a great finish. And of course, in the playoffs, he's a guy that you want on your team. So he will get offers. Joe Thornton played 73 games this year, 16 goals, 35 assists, 51 points. He's 39 years of age. And why did I put the games played? Because I have Anders Lee below him. But I wanted to explain why. He has played less games than Lee and has the same number of points. Last year, Thornton played 47 games, had 36 points, and looked like he was done. Now, Thornton said he wants to come back. I think he only goes to San Jose. 50 points the year before and 82 points the year before that. So 82 points in 2015, 2016, and then the decline takes place. And that is why for guys who are in their mid to late 30s, teams are a little sketchy about giving them more term. We've talked about Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau signed with Toronto because, A, they needed that veteran leadership, and now Toronto fans are all throwing him under the bus and throwing Lou Lamoriello under the bus, and this is so stupid. But Patrick Marleau being in Toronto helped to mold and groom guys like Marner and Matthews. He's absolutely essential. It's amazing to me how fast people will turn on guys that are no longer on their team. But he's a good player, and the reason that he went to Toronto from his perspective is they were the only team at the time rumored to be offering him 3 years. Everybody else was offering him 2. Anders Lee, 82 games played, 28 goals, 23 assists, 51 points. He's 28. Lee's going to make some money. He was down in his scoring totals from 62 last year, 52 the year before that, 36 the year before that. But when Lee had those 36 points, there were Islander fans aplenty saying this guy's really good. Watch for his totals to go up, and they did. Brett Connolly. I can't warn people off about Connolly enough. And it's funny because I've done videos on Connolly. I've talked about how great he played this year. He had 22 goals, 24 assists. He's 27 years of age. Everything looks good, but he had 27 points the year before, 23 the year before that, 25 the year before that. The odds of him getting 22 goals and 46 points next year are not good. So you're looking at probably 30 to 35 points from him next year. Maybe he does it again. But I would think if he does it again, it would probably be with Washington. Again, you're getting into if he gets signed by somebody else, let's say Vancouver scoops him. He ends up in Vancouver. Odds are with Vancouver, even though he's going to still have some pretty talented centers, it's going to take him a while to get used to Vancouver. And it would be a situation where he'd probably get 15 goals, and then we'd have everybody on here talking about how, it's what a stupid signing. But again, as the smart GM is going to look at the last 4 years and look at this year and go, I should take that with a grain of salt. But there's something that happens when you get into a bidding war, which is, I want Duchene. I don't want to give him 9.5. I'll give him 8. Wait, they're offering him 8.5? Fine, I'll give him 8.6. Oh, they went to 8.75. Well, we'll give him, and before you know it, that's how it works. And then we fans sit on the outside and go, they were so stupid 3 years later, 2 years later, sometimes a year later. Sometimes on the day of the signing, right? Matt Zuccarello played 48 games this year, had 12 goals, 28 assists for 40 points. He is 31 years of age, and he has a lot left to give. He had a very good season. It was interrupted by injury, of course, but he played well when he did play for Dallas. It is sad that he's not returning to Dallas, but it means that if you're a Rangers fan, there's hope he returns to the Rangers. No asterisk next to him, because the year before this one, he had 53. Previous year, 59, and the previous year, 61. He's pretty consistently 50 to 55 points, I would think, over the term of whatever contract he signs. And I would think it'll be a 3 or 4 year contract. He may want more, but I think it'll be a 3 or 4 year contract. The most interesting one on the board might be Ferland. Ferland, who played 71 games, had 17 goals, 23 assists. Again, I point out the great games played. I have Zuccarello above Ferland, even though Ferland had more goals and the same number of points. Traditionally, you would put Ferland above Zuccarello, but Ferland played a lot more games. Ferland is an interesting one because the scoring's kind of come out of nowhere, and he's only 27. He had 41 points the year before this one, 25 the year before, and 18 the year before. So again, the scoring showed up in Calgary, and everybody said, well, that's probably because of who his line mates are. Then he goes to Carolina, and he scores pretty well as well. However, with the concussions he took this year, with the wear and tear that his body's gone through playing the game he does, I would think that Ferland might actually be a bargain signing because of that. I don't think anybody's expecting the Michael Ferland that we saw 2 years ago when he signs this summer. Now, moving along to goaltenders, and goaltenders are interesting because Bobrovsky has met with Florida and is going to be meeting with Florida, and I would think Florida is going to be the top destination for him. This year, he had a 2.58 goals against average, 913 save percentage, and 37 wins. He's 30 years of age. You worry less about somebody being 30 or older when it's the goaltender. Last year, he had a 2.42 goals against, 921 save percentage. The year before, 2.06 goals against, 931 save percentage. The year prior to that, 2.75 goals against average and a 908 save percentage. So the overall numbers for Bobrovsky are pretty strong. He had an amazing run in the second half of the year, and he played really well in the playoffs, which I think salvages his hopes to maximize his contract this year. And clearly he wants that maximum contract. Whatever a team ends up paying for him, I get the feeling that later on, and again, whether it's 2 years from now or whatever, I get a feeling somebody's going to regret it. Only because it feels like this is going to be the big one. Robin Lehner. The only goaltender with an asterisk next to him is Robin Lehner. Robin Lehner had an amazing year. 2.13 goals against, 930 save percentage, 25 wins at 27 years of age. Robin Lehner has said he doesn't intend to talk to anybody else. He intends to return to the Islanders, and that's it. 3.01 goals against and a 908 save percentage he had his last year in Buffalo. And when he got cast off by Buffalo, there were a lot of Sabre fans who weren't impressed with him. However, the previous 2 years, he had a 2.68 goals against, 920 save percentage, and a 2.47 goals against and a 924 save percentage. He had one bad year out of 4. That is a fantastic signing if the Islanders can pull that off. Lou Lamoriello won't panic, but honestly, you got to keep Lehner. Lehner's a very good goaltender, and it's nice to see that he's getting regarded as such. Peter Mrazek, 2.39 goals against, 914 save percentage, 23 wins. He's also 27. The interesting thing with Mrazek is, last year he played in Philly. He had a 3.72 goals against, 891 save percentage, and Detroit, where he had a 2.89 goals against, 910 save percentage, and he's cast off. Cast off, he's not going anywhere, he's done. Goes to Carolina, resurrects his career. The previous season in Detroit, he had a 3.04 goals against, 901 save percentage. The year before, 2.33 goals against, 921 save percentage. I would be very surprised if rumors are true that Ken Holland might look to bring him into Edmonton only because of how he left Detroit. I don't think Mrazek would be anxious to resume his relationship with Ken Holland. That being said, stranger things have happened, especially at this time of year. Now, Mike Smith, 2.73 goals against average, 898 save percentage. He had 23 wins this year, and he's 37 years of age. Last year, 2.65 goals against average, 916 save percentage. The year before that, 2.92 goals against, 914 save percentage. The year prior to that, 2.63 goals against, 916 save percentage. Mike Smith being 37 will be a red flag. Has to be a red flag. Smith, I don't know that he's an NHL level starter anymore. So I would think that if Smith gets a contract, I think it's a 1 or a 2 year maybe. Curtis McElhinney, 2.58 goals against, 912 save percentage in Carolina. He had 20 wins this year. He's 36 years of age. And even though I don't have an asterisk there for having better stats than other seasons, he did play more than he ever had before as in terms of games started and wins. The year before in Toronto, he had a 2.14 goals against, 934 save percentage. Prior to that, he plays in Toronto, 2.85 goals against, 914 save percentage. In Columbus, he had a 2.39 goals against, 924 save percentage. And the year before had a 3.3 goals against, 890 save percentage. Could he perhaps end up going back to Columbus to finish things out, or go back to Toronto? Rumors have been rampant that Garrett Sparks might be on his way out of Toronto, which would free up cap space and a roster space for them to bring in McElhinney. And you'd have to think that at 36 years of age, McElhinney is not going to carry a large price tag. Even though he had a great year, and we saw in the playoffs again just how good he can be, he is still going to be regarded as either a fringe starter or a backup. So I would expect McElhinney to probably sign for a year, maybe two, and it's going to look like a huge bargain of a contract when he signs it. Varlamov is the last name on the board. Semyon Varlamov is really interesting. So at the start of the year for Colorado, he was great. And it looked like he was going to be, absolutely top 10 goaltender, and maybe Colorado want to keep him around and have Grubauer and Varlamov. And then as the year progressed, his numbers get worse. 2.87 goals against, 909 save percentage. He has 20 wins in the regular season, doesn't play in the playoffs. That is the realm of Grubauer. He's 31 years of age, so that works against him as well. While goaltenders don't get old like skaters do, like your forwards and your defensemen. Defensemen can work around it, of course. You got guys like Chara skating around into their 40s. But there are warning signs with Varlamov that maybe he peaked, not this season, obviously, but the year before. He had a 2.68 goals against and a 920 save percentage. The year before that, 3.38 goals against, average 898 save percentage. The year before, 2.81 goals against, average 914 save percentage. Varlamov is an under-the-radar kind of could be a starter kind of guy, and I could see Philly circling back on him and maybe getting him on a bargain contract. But at the same time, you have to be aware that his numbers haven't been fantastic. He's been a little bit at or a little below average for the most part when you add in that 898 season in there. So for Colorado, they move on from Varlamov, and it'll be interesting to see if Colorado adds somebody that might be on the board. But this is going to be a very interesting week. Let me know what you guys think, how much you guys think these guys are going to get paid, and who's going to be the most overpaid. Which guy's going to get paid like crazy, and you're going to look back and go, they should have known better. So let me know in the comment section below now so you can come back in a year or two and go, see, I was right. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.